Hi there, Courtney Murphy, Denver Metro Realtor here to give you your December 2025 Denver real estate market update. So I want to start out with a little bit of news here from Realtor.com. So for every 10 homes newly listed for sale in Denver, 4 homes were removed from the market without being sold in October. A new report from Realtor.com found that Denver had the second highest rate of delistings nationwide based on the latest monthly data from October. The delistings typically happen when a seller can't find a buyer willing to pay near their asking price. Now, none of this is really that surprising because if you've been watching my videos and my monthly updates, I talk about how there's so many delusional sellers in the Denver area that I've just seen so much overpricing. And earlier in the year, Denver was named one of the, actually, I think it was the market with the highest number of price decreases. And what I let you know there is just that sellers were coming out on the market, price too high. Basically, they're asking way too much and not really aware of where the market is at. So not really surprising that we have so many houses being pulled off the market here just because I feel like most sellers are just out of touch with what the market will bear. So that being said, we've had a lot of houses being pulled off the market. Not unusual for this time of year. Considering the fact that during the holidays, a lot of people, if they haven't sold their homes, they like to pull it off the market, put it back on in the spring and try again. It's just that, hey, that's common in all markets. And we just happen to be number 2 when it comes to the top markets with the most delistings. So let's take a look with the houses that are recently being pulled off the market where inventory is sitting. We're going to get into numbers now. And as always, I want to remind you that we will be looking at November numbers, even though it's December. I won't have December numbers till January. So let's dive in. At the end of November, we had 10,506 homes on the market. This was down 15.92% from the prior month, which makes sense as we're moving along through the year. It was up 12.85% from November of 2024. We had 2,620 new listings in the month of November. This was down 41.39% from October. Again, making sense. Who wants to be listing their house as we're heading into the holidays? Down 4.62% from November of 2024. We had 2,923 homes go under contract in the month of November. This was down 11.05% from October. Again, we are going to sell less houses as we head into the holidays. So that makes sense. It was the number of homes that went under contract was up 2.45% from November of 2024. The median sales price in the Denver area in the month of November came in at $585,000. This was down 0.85% from October. Again, making sense. We see these seasonal drops every single year this time of year. It was up 0.86% over November of 2024. Now that $585,000 median sales price that I gave you, this included both attached and detached homes. So I'm just going to break that down for you. The median sales price for a detached home was $640,000, and the median sales price for an attached home, condo or townhome, came in at $380,000. Median days on the market right now sits right at 34 days. This is up 13.33% from last month and up 25.93% from November of 2024. So those are our current numbers that we're looking at. What's on the horizon for next year? If you go out and you start watching videos on YouTube, like you're doing right now, you're going to hear so many different things. And the thing is that you probably notice is there's lots of videos that are preaching doom and gloom. The market's going to crash. The whole economy is going to crash. And I got to say that all of these things are possible, but I'll tell you what it does for people who are on YouTube. It gets great clicks. Negative news always gets great clicks. And I'm a victim of that sometimes. I'll get into these videos and I think, oh my gosh, we're all going down this ship is sinking. The problem is that nobody can make a prediction for sure. I thought for sure during 2020, the market was just going to crash and burn. And then the government came along and printed trillions and trillions of dollars. And look, our market went crazy and prices went up. And that's part of what makes it so incredibly difficult to predict the market is we never know what the heck the dang government's going to do. And different moves that they make can sure have a significant impact on our economy and our real estate market. So take everything you hear with a grain of salt, which means I'm not going to be able to give you a good answer either. But the one thing that I will say is that it is looking good for interest rates to be coming down headed into next year. So we can only hope, right? And if that does happen, the National Association of Realtors analysis of data shows that if mortgage rates drop to 6%, which we are close, that shift could unleash millions of potential buyers who were sidelined previously due to affordability constraints. So yes, it does look like interest rates will continue to come down a little bit. And if so, that could give such a spark and fire under our real estate market, which is much needed right now because for the last 2 years, things have been very stagnant. So be watching those interest rates and, what great news that would be for home buyers and home sellers alike. All right. Other thing that I wanted to hit on in this market update is, should I get a new realtor? My house isn't selling. Is it my realtor's fault? Should I get a new one when our contract expires? Should I fire them? I am bringing this up because I recently saw a post like this on Facebook where, someone was complaining that their house wasn't selling. And, I don't know if my realtor is doing a good job. Should I get somebody new? And so I'm going to help you answer that question. Because I'll tell you what, as a realtor, sometimes it can be really frustrating when you're working really hard and doing everything that you can, and your contract expires with someone, and they go with a new realtor, and sometimes they didn't go with maybe the price you suggested. Now they hire a new realtor and go to the price you initially told them to price at, and boom, bang, their house sells, and oh goodness. So anyway, so that's why I'm kind of covering it from my perspective as a realtor. All right. So should you get a new realtor? So that's I have three different points here to maybe answer that question for you. First of all, are you priced where your realtor suggested? So I can't tell you how many times that I suggest a list price to a client and they are convinced that their house is worth more. In fact, that happens to be the case more times than it isn't the case. So, it is really important that you price your house right. I made a video on how to sell your house in the Denver market right now. And I go over the three main things that sell a house: price, presentation, and marketing. You got to be in the right price range. So you got to be, if your realtor suggested a price but you decided your house was worth much more, then I would say try not to blame your realtor for that. And if your house isn't selling, maybe listen to some of their price suggestions and come down a bit. All right. Maybe you are listening to your realtor on price, but it's still not selling. Is your realtor communicating with you? Are you getting weekly updates? So like one of the things that I do when I have a listing is every Monday, hopefully every Monday, sometimes it ends up being Tuesday, but every Monday I try and log on and do an update, a check-in with my sellers and really evaluate what happened in the prior week with comparable sales in their market, their city, homes that are similar. What sold? How many houses are currently active? Which ones went under contract? Let's evaluate why they went under contract. Try and figure out a picture there of why certain homes are selling and certain homes are not, and how to get your house to be one of the ones that's selling. So you should be hearing this regularly from your realtor. A snapshot of the market, what happened just in the last week, so you know what's going on, and some evaluation of how to maybe get your house in that group of homes that is selling, so that you can be on somebody else's report next week of why your house sells and theirs didn't. All right. And the final thing that I would say is, what is your realtor's marketing plan? You should know that. They should have communicated that to you. Let me tell you, any realtor that you list your house with, your house is going to end up on Zillow.com, Homes.com, Realtor.com. It's going to be out there, pushed out to the world. That just happens when your house is entered into the MLS. Those sites are all pulling that information. A lot of realtors stop right there, unfortunately. It takes, especially in this climate, man, it takes a little bit more effort than that. They should have some sort of marketing plan for you. And I highly suggest video is involved in that. Realtor.com has said that homes that are marketed with video get about 4 times the inquiries than homes that don't. So a video should be a very important component of the marketing of your home. What other campaigns are they doing? How are they marketing on social media? How are they getting the word out? What are they doing to sell your home? They should be able to answer all those questions for you. So like I said, if you're trying to figure out if your realtor is doing a good job, are you using their suggested list price, listening to them on pricing? Are they communicating, giving you weekly updates? And what's their marketing plan? What have they communicated with you? How does it sound to you? Are they doing all the things that they can to sell your home? There are cases where everything is being done right. I had one house in Bennett, Colorado. If you're familiar with Bennett, it's kind of out on I-70 past the airport, way out there. And with these clients, we had a home sitting there and it wasn't selling. But the issue wasn't price, and it wasn't marketing, it wasn't presentation. The issue was that week after week, not a single resale home was selling in the town of Bennett. It was just a Bennett issue at the moment. So, when my clients were saying, well, I don't know, should we drop the price again? In that instance, for their situation, the answer was no, just because homes weren't selling in that area. So anyway, clear vision of what's going on with your home. I think that's all I have for you. It's December, so I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. My name's Courtney Murphy, Denver Metro Realtor. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home in the Denver area, certainly give me a call. Let's talk. Let me answer your questions, and let's see if we're a good fit to work together. And of course, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for my monthly updates and home tours around the Denver area. I try to get one uploaded every single week so you can do some house shopping from the comfort of your living room. All right. Thanks for joining me today. And I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Happy New Year. And we'll see you next year.